All right, so this is going to be episode 1 in the series talking about FA BOLC, Field Artillery Basic Officer Leadership Course, which is a course that second lieutenants go to whenever they are initially entering into the military and they're getting trained on their job. So today with me I have Second Lieutenant
Garcia Sanchez,
and today we're going to talk about week 1 of FA BOLC and essentially what that entails. So how was your first week at FA BOLC? Like, what happened the first day? How was PT?
So actually first day, we didn't have PT. First day was all just, basic and processing stuff, just different type of briefs like resiliency, what it takes to be an officer leadership course. And then also, some basic ROTC knowledge that you guys probably already learned in ROTC, like TLPs, how to write an op order, basic, basic military, basic soldier qualities. Not know any exams in the first week of Common Core, so it's actually broken up to different sections. So the first section is Common Core, and that's like all your basic military things. So you'll do your shooting, you'll do land nav, probably one of the easiest land nav courses I've ever done. You'll do pop-up shooting now, which is the requirement in order to be a second lieutenant in the military. You gotta do pop-ups, and you gotta get 23 in order to pass.
Okay, so for FA BOLC, how many books have you gotten so far?
Oh man, we have gotten 8 books. So we have books on gunnery, fire support, a field artillery manual.
Have you guys actually looked into the other books though at all?
No, so the only books we've looked into now is the gunnery manual, the Module 1 notebook, the firing charts, and the XL's handbook. And literally I'm on week 3, week 4 right now, and right now we have we've done firing charts and FOs, firing orders, and message to observers, and how to read that and dissect that, and using commander's guidance and all that. But from there, then we're going to, this week we have our firing charts verbal test. Kind of tricky a little bit, but with the right group of people, you'll be able to solve it. So the mission of field artillery is to destroy, disrupt, or neutralize, right? And you do that through gunnery, right? You just using 777s, paladins, howitzers, different type of howitzers, towed or self-propelled, different type of propellants, different type of charges, and exactly what you put into the tube to get the rocket out there, and the type of angles and all. That's exactly what gunnery is. But gunnery entails multiple things. So it's not only just figuring out what charges and what propellants and what tube you have to use, but like the distance you have to go, the elevation has to be, the deflection has to be at, where on a map exactly it's at, how exactly you have to use in different tools they teach you how to use. But we're at the beginning process of it, so me trying to explain it, so it's gonna be a bit tricky, but it's easy to do if you practice it a lot, But like they say, this is probably one of the hardest BOLCs, and it's one of the hardest BOLCs because you do so much, right? You're entailed to know so much, because if you don't know how to do this, how do you expect your soldiers to do this, So it's the only reason the harder BOLC is because you do so much. You have to know so much. There's so much that comes in with field artillery that people don't really realize. Like in an FDC, there's so many different people working in an FDC, and for people to know that it's a fire direction center. So you have a VTO, a vertical something officer, and then you have a VTO, a HTO, an FDO, an observer, a section chief, and and all these people play onto that part.
And it's only been 3 weeks, and he already has all this knowledge right now. Just these little small things. It's only been 3 weeks.
And I'm kind of butchering a little bit, but I'm trying my best to recollect, because this all this information is just so fresh to me, and it's intense. It's an intense BOLC.
So for week 1, for week 1, what would you tell people in order for them to be successful when they show up?
Okay, week 1, be on time. Don't try and fall asleep. Communicate. If you have somewhere to be or you have something to do, just communicate. But don't communicate straight to the chain of command, straight to the sergeant majors or the sergeant first classes in there. Communicate through each other. Use your squad leaders, use your platoon leader. Because you guys are gonna have that set up. Use your class, and you just communicate that up. You don't want to skip that. Because then that's just just preparing you for the future. But just staying awake, you know, you'll have time for lunch breaks and, you know, little potty breaks. They'll give you 5-10 minute breaks. But just, you know, just show up on time and just go in there with an open mind. You know, if you go up there with a closed mind thinking like this is gonna suck and like why am I here, this and that, like you're gonna have a terrible time, you know. But you're gonna be there with a good bunch of people who's willing to learn and dedicate themselves as much as you are. You know, so I would. It's the first week is nothing to be nervous about. PT is not very stressful. It's not very hard, you know.
Because it's an individual event.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you PT on your own, folks.
Yeah, PT has to be on your folks. On your folks. PT has to be on your own. But the PT test, you know, it's easy 2-mile route, you know. I would suggest practicing, you know, depending where you come from. It's a different elevation in Oklahoma, different wind, different air, you know, different temperature. You know, it's something you got to get accustomed to. But coming from Texas, luckily, you know, wasn't too bad. But after that, you know, it's just the first like week, 2 weeks is all like basic stuff. It's all easy. It's just show up on time. You have no tests. Just gotta show up and pay attention, you know. Ask questions, you know. The instructors are good, you know. They wanna make sure you're learning the knowledge, and they're gonna teach to what you know, right? So they're not gonna teach pointless stuff. They're not gonna go over on how to shoot because, you know, everybody in the military should know how to shoot, you know. But they're gonna hit the major factors that we should know, you know, even if we've already learned it, you know. But they know that we've already learned that. They don't act like we're stupid or anything, you know. They treat us like adults, you know.
So one last thing before we go. It's another how to be successful question, but so, you know, they say in the Army or just anywhere, honestly, that it's hard to lead your peers, people who are on the same level, because y'all are all second lieutenants. For the most part, most of y'all just now, this is the first time being in the military. So what would you tell people on how to, you know, be successful and how to overcome that leadership in like a quick 30 second to a minute answer?
I would just say just be respectable and be friendly, you know. Like, yeah, you came from a different part of town. Like, you might have came from West Point, another 1st Brigade, you know, another senior military college, you know. Or if you just came from a small school, a D2 school, you know, just be open-minded. Be willing to communicate. Be willing to be friendly. You know, if you go in there with a closed mind thinking this is how you do stuff and this is how it's only going to be, it's not going to work, you know. The only way to be successful in field artillery, BOLC, is if you work together as a unit, you know. But if you only focus about yourself and, like, trying to do things yourself, you're not gonna make it. You know, you'll be weeded out. You know, you'll get recycled, and you'll get recycled again, or you'll just be out the military. You know, so really the only way to be successful in field artillery is depending on others. You know, like, yeah, you have to depend on yourself, you know, to actually get the work done, but you have to have that little group, that little study group, or that little group of friends that's gonna be able to, you know, to push you and motivate you to get further into field artillery BOLC. That's probably the best way to be successful.
I don't think I could have said that any better. But for the Garcia Sanchez, we appreciate you for giving this knowledge. 'Cause I know when I was going to BOLC, like, there's no videos out that, well, there's a few, but it's always, you know, great to see a newer video, hear other people's perspectives on that. So with that,
hold up, one more thing. You know, to the people out there, there's one guy who does field artillery BOLC videos, and I'll definitely check them out.
We'll link it. I'll link it down below.
We'll link it in, and he literally explains it week by week and exactly how you should do it, and that actually helped me out, you know, taking notes and doing all that stuff. But yeah, you know, peace out.
Yeah, this the real one, baby. I'm telling you, Chi-Town stand up.